Previously on Star Trek Morningstar.
So, this ship has two unique features: the overload beam and the hybrid impulse drive.
So, what is the hybrid impulse drive?
The hybrid impulse drive. Now, it's something that the Starfleet R&D department has been working on for a few years. It's an emergency substitute for the warp drive.
Captain's log stardate 25110211.10. The Morningstar has been ordered to investigate a subspace anomaly that was recently reported by a Federation cargo ship in the Celis sector. We also have a new officer, who not only is an expert in subspace anomalies, but who may also be making a new addition to the crew.
Wow. Isn't that beautiful?
I know. Seeing a harmonic sound pulse being manipulated by a stable subspace rift is magnificent.
It is quite a spectacular sight.
Guys? Where's the captain?
Michael, he's right. Oh. I don't know.
I'm down here!
Why are you down here, sir?
Do you know what that is?
A spatial anomaly?
No, this.
A window?
Exactly. Whilst you lot were up there, gazing at sensor readouts and digital images, I've been down here, using the best live-action capture device there is. The eyes. I mean, yes, looking at sensor readouts and live digital images can be amazing, but actually seeing it with your own eyes without a filter is just so much more beautiful. Don't you agree, Vico?
Very much so, sir.
What was that?
One sec. We were hit by a wave of gravitational energy from the rift.
Was it a random fluctuation, or is the rift becoming unstable?
It's the latter.
Alright, let's head back up then. Silaf, I want you to take this ship to 500 meters outside the perimeter of the rift's gravitational field.
Aye, sir.
And Commander Zakrill, if you could join me in my ready room. You have the bridge, you know.
I.
Zakrill, with me.
Aye, sir.
Right then, Commander. Before we arrived at the spatial anomaly, I was looking through your application to join the Morningstar and your record. And I must say, this has some backstory to it. If you wouldn't mind, I'm just going to read through some of this, and if you could confirm and give clarifications as I go through.
Of course, sir.
Great! So it says here you're from the year 4060? I'm not even going to try to work out, let alone guess, how long into the future that is, or even what century it is.
The 39th century. 1,850 years in the future. But let's just say it's a long time away.
Agreed. It says here you were brought here by Captain Nathan Edwards 4 years ago on board the U.S.S. Victory. You haven't been here long, have you?
Technically, even though Edwards was giving the orders, it was in fact his first officer, Commander Mattel, who was in command. But no, haven't been in this century for that long.
I see. Interesting. I do want to say, even though we may not be as technologically advanced compared to when you're from, I think you'll enjoy it here.
Thank you, Captain, but it's not a big deal. I'm fascinated by history. It'll be quite the adventure. And well done.
What for?
You are the latest out of 16 command officers in Starfleet I've met since I got to this century, and including you, only 6 of them have managed to get the tenses right in the first conversation about my history.
I see. Thank you. I will admit, when it comes to time travel, I am the worst. And if I remember correctly, at the Academy, I failed the subject of time travel and temporal mechanics so badly that they didn't have an official grade for it. So, what they did was create a grade for me and anyone else who had done as bad as me. and they named it Grade MH, which are my initials.
Not bad, eh?
Yeah, didn't appreciate that. Now, on to the most interesting thing of all. You're not fully human, but you only have human DNA. It says here that you're a biodroid. Now that's a name I haven't heard in a while. Are androids still a thing in the future? And also, what was the name of your creator?
Her name was Clementine Zakrill, and she modeled me after herself. And I'm the first biodroid she created. She actually took inspiration from a famous android from the late 24th century, Lieutenant Commander Data of the Enterprise, under Captain Picard.
Ah yes, Data. One of the most advanced androids of the time. Not bad. Go on.
Androids are still a thing, and I'm going to explain this from a 40-60 perspective. There was an incident that involved androids and other artificial life forms.
What happened?
One of the largest artificial life form manufacturing companies encountered an issue in which a group of 50 androids had a programming malfunction, which was thought to be fixed, but it wasn't. They released the androids and everything was fine until some of the androids started to fight back against their original programming and started to act out, which, on a few occasions, got a little violent. Eventually, it got so bad that several law enforcement groups got involved, sent them back to the company to have them reprogrammed again.
Why am I getting a bad feeling about where this is going?
Which sparked an ancient question of, is it ethical to reprogram artificial life forms that are considered alive, self-aware, and lead productive lives?
Oh god.
Yeah, not good.
Please tell me, in an attempt to save my faith in us organics, what year this happens in?
Something tells me you're not going to like this, but it starts in 3955.
Why is that question still being asked that far in the future?
I don't know, sir.
This reminds me of a situation with the holographic EMH from the U.S.S Voyager. The Doctor. When Voyager was first stranded in the Delta Quadrant, the EMH was just an EMH. But over time he was able to grow beyond his original programming. At one point he wrote a holonovel, and had it sent to be published. He then had to make some last-minute revisions, but couldn't, because even though authors have the right to control their works, the Doctor is a hologram, and holograms had no rights. Well, unfortunately, I can't do much about the problems of the future, because the issues of 3955 are a little beyond my time. But back to your application. If you're sure you want to serve on this ship, and Starfleet Command approves, then you are more than welcome to join our ranks.
Thanks, Captain. We're moving. What's going on?
Captain to the bridge.
I think we're about to find out. On my way.
Michael, sensors show that the rift is beginning to collapse and will soon release a wave of gravitational energy.
How long until the rift releases that wave?
1.5 minutes.
And I assume, by the fact that we're already moving, that we're moving to a safe position?
Yes, sir.
Well, as safe as we can get in the vicinity of a Class 5 rift. The problem is that more or less any rift Class 5 and up are so unpredictable that the word safe gets chucked at the airlock and the word hope comes along.
Okay. One more time, but more straight to the point.
As we are dealing with a Class 5 subspace rift, we can hope that we are moving to a safe distance, but we can't be sure that it's safe until the shock wave has dissipated.
How long until the rift collapses and releases its energy?
30 seconds.
We have approached the safe point.
Time left, Zakrill?
20 seconds. 15 seconds. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The rift is collapsing, the shockwave has been released, and in the event that the shockwave does hit us, it will reach us in 20 seconds. 15 seconds. 10 seconds.
All hands brace for impact!
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Impact!
Oh. Shit. That hurts. Everyone alright? Uno?
I.
Sinaf?
I.
Biko?
Aye.
Jason? I. Clementine? 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 Oh shit! Please tell me someone here knows a thing or two about robotics and or biomechanics.
Didn't you take engineering classes at the academy?
Yes?
Then didn't you learn about robotics? From what I know, it's a compulsory topic.
Maybe for the main career classes, but not the extension classes.
The extension classes?
Yeah, thought I told you. I must have done.
Well, if you did, I certainly don't remember it. Could someone pass me a tricorder? I don't know enough to fix her, but I can give a more detailed diagnosis. Okay, it seems that her biocomponents are dependent on her cyber components to work. Okay, here's the problem. It seems like her impact with the floor damaged her synaptic pathways and neural net. But her power core is still functioning. All she needs are her pathways and neural net repaired and she'll be okay. Provided there's anyone on this ship who has experience with androids.
Stellar's the chief engineer. He may know.
Thank you, Sinaf. Hunter to Stella. Hunter to Stella. Stella, please respond.
He can't hear you, Captain. Comms are down.
Bollocks. Alright, Uno, I want you to take Clementine down to engineering and see if Mitchell can help her. Jason, do we have transporters?
We do, but they're one transport away from being shot.
In that case, Reynolds, transport Uno and Zakrill down to engineering.
Yes, sir. Transporter lock established. Energizing.
Right, next thing on the list. Damage report.
Power generators 1 and 2 are offline. Backups are online and stable. Transporters are down, as well as weapons, shields, and all non-essential systems. Decks 4, 7, 8, 11, 15 and 19 are completely without power and have already been evacuated.
Right. Begin work on bringing comms back online, and then coordinate with engineering on repairs. You, Ensign Sadre, I want you to take the science station. I'd like a report on that shockwave. I assume by now that it has dissipated.
One moment, sir. Yes, sir. The wave has dissipated. It dissipated half an hour ago.
How far did it go?
After it made contact with us, the shockwave continued for 10 seconds.
So we could have avoided it.
We could have, yes, but like the commander said, there was no way of knowing how far the wave would go.
I know, but the fact is, Ensign, that there was a possibility of everything that's happened being avoided. The ship being heavily damaged, the incident with Clementine. It could have been prevented. When comms are back online, contact engineering and see how they're doing with Clementine. I'll be in my ready room.
What was that about?
What was what about, Ensign?
He seemed to really be concerned and upset about the commander.
Clementine is a member of this crew, albeit currently temporarily, and she has just come aboard and has already been injured, which could have been avoided. That's why he's struggling. It's nothing more than that.
Oh, I see. Sorry, sir.
Captain's log supplemental. Since the Morningstar was caught in the energy wave, operations and engineering teams have been working non-stop to get the ship back in working order, and Commander Uno is taking Commander Zakrill down to engineering to see if Lieutenant Stella can fix her.
Mitchell, we need your help.
Unor, what's going on? What the fuck happened to the ship?
We'll get to that later. Right now, we need your help. This is Clementine Zakrill, just recently transferred here because we were going to the anomaly. She had an incident on the bridge, and we thought you could repair her.
Repair her? I'm an engineer, not a doctor. I can't help her. Why did you think I could?
Because she's part biological, part technological, and you're an engineer. Comms were down, so we couldn't contact you. So we assumed you could help her.
Well, in that case, you're lucky. I skipped the seminar on the inner workings of artificial life forms, because I never thought I'd need it, but if it weren't for one Captain Coral Lotar, I'd still be clueless. In the short term, he saw a glimmering brightness in me that he said was waiting to be released. I wouldn't say learning about the inner workings of androids and such was a pivotal moment in my career, but let's just say I'm glad I took him up on the offer. Now, have you already done a diagnostic, or have you left me that pleasure?
Already did it. Her synaptic pathways and neural net are damaged, but her power core is still functioning. All she needs are her pathways and neural net repaired, and she should be okay. Right?
One moment.
Come. Ah, Vico, what brings you here?
Well, you, sir.
What do you want?
Well, this is probably a violation of some captain crew privacy protocol, but I was just wondering. You seemed more concerned than normal about Clementine, and I was just wondering why. And I'm not insinuating in any way that you have a, interest in her, because I know that you and Unor are quite close, and again, I don't mean it like...
Just calm down. I guess someone ought to know, and seeing as you're here and suspect something, it may as well be you. To start, you're right. My concern for Clementine is strictly professional. But you're also right about me and Uno. Now, that's not to say that we are in a relationship. It's just that our friendship is a very good and close one. But on to the matter of Clementine. She's only been here in the 25th century for 4 years, and when you think about it, that's not that long. Therefore, the fact that she's only just come on board the ship and almost dies due to something that could have been avoided, it just pisses me off.
Again, no disrespect, sir, But isn't that the risk of signing up to Starfleet?
Yes, that's true. But that doesn't make it any easier. Let me give you some advice, Rico. They'll train you and teach you how to deal with this sort of thing in the academy. They'll take you through these hypotheticals to try and prepare you for it. They say it'll make it easy. But that's all they are. Hypotheticals. It doesn't even come close to comparing with a real thing. And you know what? It shouldn't be easy. It should not be easy to be okay with the death of a member of your crew.
I see. Thank you, sir. I'm sorry for disturbing you. I'll return to the bridge now.
Don't apologize, Vika. You've done nothing wrong. You were just looking after your captain. And for that I thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
You're right. It'll all be okay. I can easily repair her. Shouldn't take longer than an hour or two.
Oh, thank fuck.
Bridge to engineering. Can you hear me down there?
Yes. Loud and clear, Jason.
Good. That's one of several things done and off my list. By the way, the captain wants to know the situation with Clementine.
She'll be fine. Give it an hour or two and she'll be right as rain.
Great. Thanks. I'll pass that on to the captain. Bridge out.
Now then, where were we? So, tell me, what the fuck happened to the ship?
The Class 5 subspace drift. It collapsed and released a shockwave of gravitational energy, which, no thanks to hoping and wishing, came in contact with the Morningstar. It then carried on for 10 seconds after hitting us before dissipating.
That would explain why almost all our systems were taken out, putting aside the unbelievable probability factor these things have. When they hit damn hard. If we were in any lower class of ship, let's just say we'd be lucky if we'd survive at all.
I don't know whether to be glad or terrified.
What's the situation with propulsion?
Well, thrusters are all fine. They came back online 20 minutes ago. The impulse drive is a work in progress, but I'm confident it'll be online in 1 hour. The warp core, that's a different story.
How so?
Well, if sensors were online, then I could give you the details, but as they aren't, we had to do a manual diagnostic. From what we've looked into, the core itself works fine, the dilithium matrix is functioning properly, the plasma and deuterium injectors are fine as well, and there's a good steady plasma flow. We think there's something wrong with the power conduits that connect the core to the nacelles, because every time we go to power up the nacelles, the core starts to overload. Again, if sensors were online, I could tell you more, but I can't.
That's fine. In that case, Mitchell, I want you and your teams to continue to work on the impulse drive. Jason, work with Clementine and Vico and start getting the sensors back online and calibrated so we can find out what exactly is wrong with the warp core. Sinaf, set a course for the nearest starbase and engage at best possible speed. Dismissed. Captain's log supplemental. The Morningstar, albeit on thrusters, is finally moving again and on her way to Starbase 132. In the meantime, the work on bringing the sensors back online, as I have been informed, has been slow.
Okay, the probe has been launched. Its heading is 2541, mark 8315.
All right. Initiating recalibration sequence. Recalibration complete.
Scanning coordinate area. Energy signature has been discovered. It's the probe.
Hooray! Only took about 60 fucking attempts.
Great work, guys. I'll inform the captain. Bridge to Captain Hunter. Sensors are back online and recalibrated.
Excellent. I'll inform engineering. Hunter to Mitchell, the sensors are back online. You can now begin thorough diagnostics.
Understood. I'll get right on it. Computer, begin full diagnostic of the warp drive system and include previous manual diagnostic records.
Working. The requesting diagnostic will take a few seconds. Diagnostic complete.
Show me the results on console 4. Okay then, let's see what's happened to you. Yep. Cool. Looking great so far. Hold up. Computer, enlarge grid 4B. Ah, shit. Okay, so there's good news and bad news. Which do you want first?
The good news.
Okay, so the good news is the core is alright and functioning perfectly.
And the bad news?
The bad news is we were right about our original results. It turns out that there is something wrong with the power conduits between the core and both nacelles. Turns out they ruptured, and the nacelles aren't getting the power they need.
Which means, and I know this may sound obvious, we don't have warp capability.
No, sir. But I do have an idea.
Go on.
Well, sir, I don't know if you're aware, but the Morningstar has an experimental impulse drive. It's something that the SED...
Sorry. SED?
The Starfleet Engineering Department.
Ah, I see. Go on.
Well, it's something that the SED has been theorizing for years, and have only recently, in the last few years, taken it to the SRDD, the Starfleet Research and Development Department. It's called the Hybrid Impulse Drive, or HID if you're like me and like abbreviations. It's designed to be able to act as both a secondary warp drive and warp nacelles if, for whatever reason, the ship can't go to warp the conventional way.
Yes, I know of it. Jason showed it to me when I first stepped on board the Morningstar.
Oh, I see. And you couldn't have let me tell him? Why?
Sorry, Mitchell. It was standard procedure, and you weren't assigned to the crew at the time.
Alright, fine.
I have a question, Mitchell. You said experimental. Exactly how experimental is it?
Ah, that's something Jason didn't tell me. How safe is it?
Well, out of the 100 tests that were done, about 75 of them were successful, and I was there for the tests. And before you say anything, sir, as chief engineer of this ship, how much of a competent engineer do you think I am? On a scale of 1 to 10, let's say.
10 out of 10.
Thanks. And do you trust my ability to do what I can to help protect this ship and crew?
Of course.
Then, before you make your decision, know that I wouldn't be suggesting this if I didn't think it would work.
How long do you need to ready the drive?
If I could get as many people with engineering knowledge to help, 2, maybe 3 hours.
In that case, if any science and tactical officers have engineering knowledge, raise your hand. Alright, Reynolds, myself and Tapri are gonna go with Stella. Uno, you have the bridge.
Aye.
Peeps, let's roll. Alright, that's the last relay done.
I think I remember reading up about this.
About what?
The new impulse drive. I was quite surprised that Starfleet could develop this type of technology this early.
Thanks, I think.
Wait a sec. Don't you mean you are going to be surprised?
I used the past tense to make it easier for you.
Oh, thank you.
Right then, I think we are just about ready to go. As this is the first time it's being properly set up, I'm going to have to reroute the power flow manually until I can get all the presets logged, and then when I give the computer the word, it'll all be done automatically. So I just need to stop power flow from the impulse drive to the impulse engines, redirect the power flow from the warp drive, and then we should be ready.
Well done. Just one question. What equivalent warp factor will this impulse drive do?
Well, let's see. This is an official first attempt. I'd say we should be fine with Warp 1 to start with, and then gradually increase. At the moment, in this experimental stage, it's only going to go to Warp 2, maybe 3 at a stretch, but only if absolutely necessary. Okay. All power flow has been redirected, and now let's boot her up. Computer, begin Hyper Impulse Drive startup sequence.
Startup sequence initiated. Hyper Impulse Drive is online.
Right, that's the easy bit done. The hard part is going to be getting the ship moving while keeping that course stable. I'll join you guys on the bridge for that.
Then let's get going. Captain's log supplemental. With all essential systems back online and up to spec, the Morningstar and her crew are ready to begin the first official field test of the hybrid impulse drive. You ready then, Mitchell?
Aye, sir. Just want to make sure of a few things. JC, can you see the plasma levels for the warp drive and impulse drive?
Affirmative.
Brill and Synav, do you have the HID controls?
I sure do.
Cool. In that case, we are ready, sir.
Good. Then let's get this show on the road. Yo alert. All hands buckle up, because it's about to get bumpy. Alright, enough. Slowly increase our speed to warp 1.
Aye, sir. We are at 1/4 impulse and rising. 2 quarters. 1/2. 4 quarters. We're at maximum impulse and continuing to rise. We're coming up to warp 0.1, warp 0.25, warp 0.5, 0.75. We'll reach warp 1 in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're now flying at warp 1. Are we going faster, Captain?
How are we looking, Mitch?
Looking good so far. 1, the warp and impulse drive are fine. Reynolds, how we looking?
Plasma flow is a little unstable, but it's nothing I can't keep in order.
Great. 2, never call me Mitch. 3, I think we are safe to go for warp 2.
Duly noted. But in that case, continue to warp 2, Ensign.
Understood. And we're coming up to warp 1.1, warp 1.25, warp 1.50.
Warning. Unstable plasma flow to hybrid impulse drive. If not corrected soon, the warp field will collapse in 30 seconds.
What's happened?
Oh crap. Plasma conduit 7F is malfunctioning. There are no way to correct it without shutting down the drive.
No. We are not shutting down the drive. We've come too far and we're too close to stop. I can fix it. I'm opening up conduit 7G and redirecting plasma flow through conduit 6F. Okay, it worked. We're in the clear. We can continue.
Understood. Continue, Synav.
Aye, sir. Now coming up to warp 1.75. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have reached warp 2.
Power's leveling out. Plasma flow is steady. Warp core and impulse engines are stable. It's only gone and worked.
Congratulations, Lieutenant. And before you say anything, given how unnerving this all is still, I think we'll leave at warp 2.
Right you are, sir.
Synav, how long until we reach Starbase 132?
7 hours.
Well, unless I'm mistaken, I do believe that there are still repairs to be done.
We'll get on them right away, sir.
Captain's Log Supplemental. After a successful test of the hybrid impulse drive, the Morningstar has reached and docked at Starbase 132, and full repairs are underway. Meanwhile, I'm looking forward to a special meeting with Clementine. Come.
You wanted to see me, sir?
Yes, thank you for coming. Before I get to the reason you're here, I just wanted to know how you're doing after the accident.
I'm good. A little shaken up, but I'll live. Stella is quite a good engineer, seeing as everything seems to be working properly. I think.
Good to hear. Now, I have a question for you. Are you sure you want to join the Morningstar?
Yes. Yes, I am, sir.
That's good, because I sent your application off as soon as we got here. And Command has approved. So, it is my pleasure to say, congratulations, and welcome to the crew of the U.S.S. Morningstar, Chief Science Officer, Commander Clementine Zakrill.
Thank you, sir. I'm honored to be a part of this ship and her crew. But if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to help with the repair efforts.
You're welcome. And by all means, dismissed.
Captain Hunter, please report to Captain Dimmen in operations.
On my way. You asked to see me, Yachin?
I did. I just want to say congratulations. Speaking as an engineer, it was quite an odd yet amazing sight when you popped up on our sensors. Coming in at Warp 2 without warp engines?
Thank you. I'll pass that along to the crew.
No need. I plan to throw a party for your crew when all the repairs are done.
I'm sure my crew will be honored and have no qualms about attending.
You're welcome. The other amazing thing is, the official field test for the hybrid impulse drive wasn't scheduled for another 3 months.
Why?
Apparently there were still quite a few kinks to work out.
Well, we only had one issue. A plasma conduit was malfunctioning, but it was fixed almost immediately.
Well, let's just hope the development team were wrong, and that was the only problem. If you don't mind, when the repair teams are done, I'd like to download the data from your computer gathered on the drive and sent to Starfleet Engineering.
By all means.
Thank you. Well, it was nice to have a conversation with you again, Michael. I'll see you around.
And you. See ya.